Hello, welcome back. It's only been 12 months, but I am finally back with another travel blogger interview or TBI. If you don't know me, and you probably don't, because like I said, I haven't done one of these for 12 months, I'm Neil, and I'm over at www.backpacksandbunkbeds.co.uk. But more importantly, these guys up here, this is Paul and Karen from globalhelpswap.com. Hi guys, evening.
How you
How
doing?
are you doing? Thanks for taking your time out of your Monday evening, a nice rainy Monday evening back in the UK. Yeah, how are we doing? All good, all happy after, I believe, a winter in Thailand, which we're not jealous about at all. Cheers.
Yes, we're very good. Worried about our tan going already.
At least you got a
Thinking,
tan.
say it again?
At least you've got a tan. Some of us have
Yeah.
just been like pale for 12 months.
Everyone keeps saying, "You look so healthy,"
Yeah.
whilst they've got their pasty white
Well,
faces
exactly.
next to the
Yeah.
London weather, which is good.
Some of us, we go near a light bulb, we start tanning. We haven't seen the sun in so long. It's any bright light, but as I say, so I don't know if you just want to give. Hopefully, people know who you are, but if they don't, there might be a few people out there. Do you want to give a quick 101 over about where you guys come from, what you're doing, and about globalhelpswap.com, and just what you do as vloggers, really?
Yeah, do you want to answer that?
Yeah. So Global Help Swap started actually as a site that promotes free and low-cost volunteering all around the world. And we started it because when we were backpacking and we wanted to volunteer, all we could find were just places that charged you thousands and thousands of pounds. And so we just really wanted to give a voice to the smaller charities out there. And since we'd learned how to find them, we thought we'd create this resource. As the website grew, it kind of morphed into something more. So it's now a travel blog, even though we do still promote a lot of volunteering opportunities. But now we also write a travel blog that's focused on responsible and authentic travel. So we write stories about the places that we visit with a kind of an angle of making it really feel like authentic or responsible.
Cool, very cool.
Okay.
So
That's it, no?
yeah, the volunteering thing, I get personally. I was one of those people that spent thousands of pounds doing volunteering. Loved it. Don't get me wrong. Wouldn't change it. But like you say, there's people out there that don't charge you the earth, and you have just a greater time. That's amazing. Obviously. Around the responsible travel part, was that like a byproduct of your volunteering, or is that just one day you went, do you know what, we're doing this travel all wrong. We need to change the way we travel. We need to be much more responsible. I mean, how did that element of the sort of blog development come around?
I think it began, well, we was doing it anyway without knowing it was called Responsible Travel.
Okay.
When we went on our big 18-month trip, we only used trains. So we travelled from Europe to Asia by the Trans-Siberian, and so obviously didn't have much of a carbon footprint. We always eat in local restaurants. When we go off the beaten track, we tend to stay in guest houses, so the money stays in the community. Yeah. And then I found out it was called Responsible Tourism when I was at the World Travel Market a few years ago at the awards. And I was like, oh, this is what we do. And I was like, okay, so this is really our niche. So about 2 years ago, we kind of really focused on eco hotels and eco tours and, wildlife encounters. So, yeah, it kind of happened organically.
Yeah, that's cool. So talking about a niche, that's interesting. Like a lot of me included, I guess, don't necessarily have a niche, or like you say, you start with one thing, but then over time it just seems to go outwards and outwards and expand and expand. Like you say, you developed it over time through sort of learning about blogging. How did the blog? Like I know you said you sort of come about after traveling, but blogging, was there any sort of prior knowledge there, or just one day you were like, right, I just want to write something. I've just been so many cool places, I need to get this down on paper, or the equivalent of nowadays of paper. Do you know what I mean? What was the spark kind of, and how did you tackle travel blogging, I guess?
Yeah. So actually, when we went on our 18-month trip, we decided to keep a blog, and we used like this free website where we just wrote about our travels, and it was really a way of just keeping in touch with family. We had no prior knowledge, no social media experience, no web experience, nothing. He worked in retail, I'm a psychologist, so it's not the industry that we kind of were from. But we really loved it, and we loved sharing our stories. And kind of when we finished our 18-month trip, we really wanted to continue sharing stories and writing, and travel's like a really big passion of both of ours.
Yeah, sure.
So we wanted to find a way to do more of that.
And bizarrely, I've always wrote journals, so I'm always writing, and I've always been traveling since I was about 14. So when when I discovered blogging, it was like, oh, I don't need to be a journalist with a degree. And I've got, with WordPress, I've got a platform here where I can just write out to the world, and hopefully people will read what I'm writing.
It's so accessible now, right? It's like you say, you don't need a degree, you don't need a whole lot of money to do it.
No.
And you're just obviously helping people. Like, it's great to express yourself and get those, get those memories down on paper, like I say. But also, if you can help people with the volunteering and things like that, that's double win, really. Around the volunteering, so like I say, I spent X amount of money. Like I say, I wouldn't change it. But how did you originally go around sort of sourcing or finding those low cost opportunities when you first went traveling?
Well, digging on the internet.
Yeah, like we'd spend hours looking, and like you've got your first page, and your second page would be at about page 40 and 50, or as we'd hear about things from other travelers. Today, Facebook groups I think are a really good way of finding out more about kind of opportunities in the area. So it's a lot of research, really.
Yeah, and our first experience was a nightmare. We were basically hired slaves.
Excellent. Good to hear.
So we learned a lot from our very first volunteering experience, that's for sure.
Where was that? Just out of interest. You don't have to name and shame, but...
Yeah, it was on a boat in Malaysia. And basically, we wanted to learn how to sail. We thought, this would be cool. We'll carry on. We'll get to Australia by sailing there. See, we won't use planes. And so this guy says, yeah, he'll teach us and whatever. And he was planning on going down the whole coast of Malaysia, under Singapore, and back up to the other side. And it was just going to be us two and him. So it was like, oh, brilliant, we're thrown in at the deep end.
Cozy.
But he never moved. So he was there for 4 days, and then I threw a mutiny and got off the boat.
So basically, like, we'd spend 8 hours rubbing oil into this beautiful wooden boat in the sun. It was back-breaking, just really hard work for nothing, really. We didn't feel like we learned any sailing or anything like that.
No.
And he wasn't a very nice guy either.
No, he wasn't a great guy at all.
But
yeah, that's labour. That's not volunteering. That's
Exactly.
total labour.
Exactly.
Yeah, he got you with that one, definitely. Definitely. Yeah. But so fast forward. So when did you start the blog? Sorry, like 2013. 13. Okay. So fast forward, 3 years now? It's in a bit of a different place, like you said. From what I understand, you guys are in a bit of a different place in terms of what you're doing. Was it CNN, I want to say, recently featured you?
Business Insider.
Sorry, yeah, close enough. Anyway, so yeah, bit of a big publication, and obviously sort of probably a big deal for you guys, but obviously come around through your hard work and sort of the way you've gone about your blogging business. So what is do you want to tell people sort of like the evolution of not just your blog but of your working lifestyle, really?
Yeah, do you want to answer that?
So the evolution, I'm really thinking about kind of what we've learned first of all.
Okay.
And when we started blogging, I thought that blogging was writing. So you write on a website and you publish it. But actually, what we've learned first of all is that that's one part of the skill. That's one skill, and you need about 30 more things, such as SEO, which we kind of still struggle with, and social media and all the different platforms. So there's a lot to learn, and kind of one of the things that I think has been really important for us is to be patient. It's not something that you become successful overnight. It takes a lot of hard work and time. You really need time.
It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Yeah, totally. And so kind of now we're at a stage where we kind of feel like we know a little bit more about what we're doing, or what we should be doing at least. So we've got a really nice network of blogger friends, for example, who kind of we love meeting wherever we are in the world, and that's been great, and that's really useful actually for me. That's one of the best things. So yeah, I feel like we've learned. Now we're at that stage where we're applying our lessons.
I was going to say the sort of blogger friendships, if you like. Did you, I guess, before you started blogging, were you aware of such a community, or is that just a complete, out the blue positive that's sort of taken you by surprise? If and I had no idea. Went to my first meetup and haven't looked back. So I don't know if it's the same for everyone or.
Yeah, it was like, I think T-Bex was the first one for us in Dublin. That was our first T-Bex, and there was about 800 bloggers there, and obviously, there was this incredible opening night party at the Guinness Storehouse, and our jaws hit the floor, and we were like, "Oh my god!" Like, we didn't realise. And in fact, during the conference, a woman came up to me at some point in the hotel and said to me, "What conference are you at?" And I goes, "It's a travel blogging conference." And she goes, "Oh my god, I've never seen conferences like this before. My conferences aren't like this, what I attend." So that kind of gave us the thumbs up, saying, "Okay, this industry is really fun."
Yeah. Conference stroke party, which comes first is up for debate.
With 800 interesting characters.
Yes, yeah. But I mean, if it wasn't fun, I guess people wouldn't carry on doing it in that sense, or there wouldn't be people going. Blogging wasn't fun. I know it's hard work, but obviously, for people to carry on doing it, there's reward for it, obviously, and it doesn't have to be a monetary reward, for everyone. Different people, different blogs, different goals, everything.
Definitely, and I honestly think because the nature of travel blogging, obviously, people travel a lot. It's effortless to make friends in this community or in this industry, where maybe if it was another industry, they're not used to being on the road alone or whatever. So there's still barriers where we was in Thailand and we met another like 4 or 5 different bloggers, some that we didn't know, but they knew we were there, we knew they were there, and we just hooked up, and it was effortless.
Yeah, well, yeah, I love that though, in a sense, and friends, and this. It probably once upon a time would have sounded really geeky or whatever, but I've got friends across the world who I've actually never met in person, I guess, but just through having a shared interest on the internet, it sounds weird when you say it, like, what do you do at the week? Oh, I just talk to some people over the internet I've never met before. You did that 5 years ago. They've been on the phone to the police, but it's just the way, obviously, social media and blogging as a whole developed. And it's such a good vibe, like in most sort of conferences and meetups and stuff. It's cool to hear other people sort of feel and see it the same way. So moving on slightly away from conferences, although maybe not conferences. Who booked the conference, or was it a joint? Did one of you go, right, I found this conference, we're going? Or I'm just interested around.
Yeah, it was me.
He's much more organised than I am.
Okay. Are you the boss?
I think it was from Facebook or Twitter. I just saw this thing come up. What the hell's this T-Bex? And so I looked into it and I was like, oh, okay, great. I'll apply. And when I got accepted for my very first press trip or fam trip, I was ecstatic. And in fact, that was prior to the conference. It was pre-T-Bex. And to this day, some of the people on that press trip are my best friends in the blogging community. Okay. So it was a really great group, and I was like, wow. And I learned a lot, sitting on that bus going from place to place. I learned so much before the conference even began by just sitting with other bloggers going, how did you do this? And the little I knew at the time, I was teaching people. And yeah, it was a great learning curve.
So with you booking the conference, Paul, is that representative of your travels in general, or do you take it in turns to organise? How do you both agree on travel direction, if you like?
Well, the more we travel,
if you even agree. But
we do agree. So I mean, we like everywhere, and we want to go and see everywhere. So in terms of destination, it's quite easy. We go, we've never been here, should we go here? Most of it has an eco slant, obviously. So Costa Rica is going to be more appealing than Dubai because the nature of our readers are more interested in that than maybe a city destination. But now we've been traveling so extensively, we've got really bad at organising anything.
Oh my God.
Because things kind of, as you do it more and more, things always fall into place. So the recent trip to Thailand, the only thing we said we was going to do was go to Khao Sok National Park because we'd never been. And the rest just happened while we were there. We didn't plan a thing. So
I used to be a really good planner. I used to have a sheet like with 5 different options of what I could do each day planned before I actually flew to a place. And now I just turn up and I just go, what shall we do today? And that's it. And I think that's nice. I think it just removes this anxiety of having to make sure that you do everything and you check all the boxes. And actually, it makes us much more relaxed travelers. And sometimes that's when the unexpected adventures happen, which are the best ones, really.
They're always the ones to write home about, definitely.
Yeah.
I think it began on our 18-month trip because we were traveling by train. We kind of organised the first part up until Mongolia. And then from Mongolia onwards, we did even the destinations. We had a rough route in our head, but like we weren't going to Korea originally. And then people kept saying, no, you must go to Korea. You've got to go to Korea. So we got a boat to Korea. Okay. Places in China that we'd never heard of. Other backpackers told us about them. It was like, okay, let's go to Pingyao. Let's go to here. And I think having that freedom really helped us. So we kind of, as we do trips now, we're like, we don't want to be tied down to anywhere or any kind of itinerary. If we meet someone and say, you must go to this place, it's like one of the best places we've ever seen, then we can go without going, we have to change our plane tickets or train tickets or whatever.
Yeah, spontaneity. It's one of those, if you're traveling long term, you can probably afford to do it, I guess. If you're on a week break, it's the difference is obviously the way people travel. But I mean, I'm a planning freak. In terms of, I've only because I work full time, I've got that only a certain number of days. So I'm like, right, if I know I want to go and see something, I make time for it for sure. When you go the other way, and you just let spontaneous events unfold, are you ever, I guess, worried that nothing amazing or standout will happen, and therefore you won't have necessarily anything to write about? Or I guess what comes first, the travel or the traveling to write something?
I think the travel, because I get enjoyment out of the most mundane things. So like in Bangkok, there was a girl who was selling pomegranate juice, and I'd see her every day. And then we went away from Bangkok for like weeks and weeks and weeks. And then I come back, and I was on my own now because Karen had already left. And she recognised me from weeks and weeks and weeks before. So then little instances, I stood there and chatted to her, and she was there from like 9 a.m. till 11 at night every day. And I asked her where she was from, and she spoke decent English, and she was from up north. And these little things make travel for me. And I write about these little things. So it doesn't have to be always like the spectacular. It's sometimes the everyday encounters that make it special.
And I guess as long as you've got kind of a couple of really good activities, like we knew we'd be going to Khao Sok, so we knew that would be a really good post to write about, because it's something really special in Thailand. And we did a couple of other things, like we went zip lining, which was amazing. So you always find something to write about. I mean, travel is so interesting, and there's so many opportunities for stories that you don't necessarily have to plan the story, But having said that, obviously, if you've got limited time, then absolutely, I think it's important to plan as well.
Yeah, and I think that's where
we're a bit spoiled with that.
If you've got a week, I think the destination choice is key. So if you've got a blog, I know that's all around food. Obviously, if you go anywhere in Italy, you're gonna get stories. If you choose the right destination, the stories will come.
And I sort of asked you how you choose a destination, but all right, I'll move on to the next one. So you mentioned Japan, so that's next week, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah. For how long?
8 days.
Okay.
Week, 8 days.
Is this holiday or working holiday or a bit of everything?
Well,
and everything?
We're working with the Okinawa Tourism Board.
Oh, awesome! Really cool. So is that planned, or is that just winging it and seeing what happens?
Well, they've planned it for us,
okay.
So we will actually, with something like that, we'll do a little bit of research. So, for example, before we go, we'll find out, what's the best food to eat in Okinawa, and we'll make sure that we get to taste the traditional dishes. So we get to ask about them. So we try and think of different angles of things that we'd want to write about, and do a little bit of research there. So, and when we're being taken on a press trip, we do a little bit more planning than when we're just.
Yeah, in
traveling.
Might help to be a bit clued up, to know where you're going.
Well, because on the original itinerary there was no scuba diving, and Okinawa is like really famous for scuba diving.
Okay.
So they probably didn't know we were advanced scuba divers. So we emailed them back saying, if there's any chance of scuba diving, we'd love to do some scuba diving and write about it because it's really famous there. And I was like, oh yeah, we didn't know you were scuba divers, so we'll add it to the itinerary.
That's cool.
I'm very excited about Okinawa.
Does that? I mean, that obviously that's going to be an amazing trip. Like, no questions asked. But I guess, like you were saying a minute ago, in terms of you just let things unfold normally, flipping it with a press and familiarization trips are great. Do you get frustrated at having an itinerary, or you just have to kind of roll with the punches? You know what the end product or the end goal is. You know, do you ever get? It seems your travel is one thing, and then press travel is another thing. You know, I just wonder how you sort of combat or get over the differences.
I think again, it's the destination. So Okinawa, we've always wanted to go. When we was in Japan 5 years ago, we never made it that far south. So it's always been on our list. So we kind of tend to approach tourism boards that we really want to work with. And so if you really want to go to these places, then the itinerary is going to be stuff you're going to be doing. Anyway, if we went to Okinawa, we would be going to the beach, scuba diving, eating great food, cycling, and that's all on the itinerary. So like when us was together in Wales, the zip line and the cycling, it's all the stuff I would, if I was a holiday maker, I would have paid for and went off and done by myself. So I think, except press trips that you really want to be on.
I think at first when you start, it's really exciting when someone offers you a free trip, but then you realize that unless you choose your press trips carefully, first of all, they're a lot of work and they're very tiring. You're up and you for really long days. You need to keep notes. You need to make sure you're taking your photos. Chances are you're doing social media there, so it's a lot of work. And if you're not excited about the place, then it's too hard. So we choose. In fact, I choose my press trips very carefully. Paul does a few more than I do, but I don't do many.
Do you get to go on?
Sorry, go on.
Do you get to go on them together, or is it quite often sort of they ask for just one of you to turn up and you need to flip a coin to see who goes?
Yeah, now we're getting offered more together.
Yeah,
I think it all depends on the angle of the campaign.
Yeah, sure. Yep.
So the Okinawa campaign is all about couples visiting Okinawa. Mm-hmm. So obviously, I don't know. They must have only invited couple bloggers because if the singles there, I don't know how they're going to pull that off. But yeah, it all depends on the campaign. So sometimes, we have to flip a coin. Normally, I win.
Double-sided coin, yeah.
Well
played.
It is. I'm sure it's rigged.
Heads 36 times in a row. Can you believe? Yeah. But that's not awkward at all. It's just. I mean, I've obviously got. Well, say obviously, I have got another half, and I have to leave her behind sometimes because I can't go, and it's kind of like I see my travels as being all the better for having her along with me, but sometimes it's not possible. So I don't know. I'd hope press people who came to you know that you're a blogging couple, but obviously maybe they haven't got the budget or whatever. But I just imagine it would be always nicer if the two of you could go, really. But
100%. And I think because with Karen's work, she travels a lot anyway. Okay. So when she's not doing that, she likes obviously to be back in her flat. So I think it's just a natural choice.
Yeah. For me, because a press trip is a lot of work, and kind of I do my own work besides our blog. Sometimes it's just too much, so he can go and do the work, and I just go on the trips that are really nice.
The truth is coming out. I like it. Paul's the workhorse. Yeah.
I let him think that he's winning with the coin, but
so
really
smart.
I rigged the coin.
So smart. Look. Sorry, Paul. I just exposed everything on film.
At the end of the day, I have to go to Switzerland. It's such a terrible.
For you.
I know. Right? Got sidetracked Japan. So Japan for 8 days, I think you said. Then what are the plans for the rest of the year? Because although it's gone quick, we're only at April, so I imagine you've got a few more sort of irons in the fire, or ideas, or places booked already.
So I might be going to Turkey in May.
Grand.
Yeah, that's May. Yeah. And
Going to Sri Lanka.
Sri Lanka in June for the TBC Awards because we're nominated in the Responsible Tourism category.
Awesome.
So that should be good, and we love Sri Lanka, so that will be good fun.
Yeah, it's exciting.
And then Glastonbury Festival, which we always attend every June. That's not blogging. Many bloggers have said to me, you could go there as a blogger, but no, 5 days at Glastonbury is like switch off time. I don't want to be there with a camera and all that. It's lucky I take my phone, never mind the camera. And then we don't know after June. We'll see what comes our way.
No, anywhere you're keen on or get your eye on particularly?
Yeah. I think I've got a couple of destinations in Europe, which are San Sebastian. I'd love to go to San Sebastian and just really get to know their food culture there, etc. And Croatia, I really want to go to Croatia, and we don't seem to have managed to fit it in. I've been wanting to go for ages. So those are my top 2 in Europe.
Yeah, mine in Europe is Slovenia. I really want to see Slovenia.
Yeah. Nice.
And then out of Europe, Costa Rica, which we're probably going to go to next year, Colombia,
Ecuador. I had a client who's from Ecuador, and it sounds like heaven. So I really want to go to Ecuador as well. Maybe that's what
Namibia. You know what it's like with Wanderlust. The list just keeps going bigger.
Yeah.
Spirals. Yeah, totally. But, right, so I usually do, this could go either way, but I usually do a couple of sort of random questions. They're like sort of quick fire questions. They're meant to be fun.
Great.
Not particularly enlightening, but it's just interesting to see what you come up with. So, right, first one is, you can answer these together or individually. Maybe individually, because it might be funny to see who comes up with what.
Okay.
If you could travel with a chosen superpower, what would you travel with?
I'll answer first. Either fly.
Yeah, I'd have flying, I think.
I would be able to eat whatever I want without putting on weight and without getting full. So I could just eat and eat and eat and try everything.
That's not bad. No one's ever said that before.
What kind of superhero does that?
It's a new superhero.
There might be a Marvel film about that one day. I don't know.
There you go.
I'm not sure who the villain's going to be.
The green ghost in Ghostbusters does
Yeah,
that.
Slimer.
There you go. You see, I want to be the green ghost in Ghostbusters.
Life goals, definitely.
Yeah.
Right.
My ambitions.
Okay. If you're at a beach bar for the day and you can only drink one drink, what are you drinking?
Rum and banana daiquiri.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Long Island iced tea.
Oof.
Oh, that'd be very
I
drunk.
said all day, not for an hour.
No, let's say white sangria. I prefer white sangria, actually.
Okay. I'm going to chuck in mojito just for an honourable mention, because pretty good. Okay, this one's quite good. Reading paperback books or Kindles? Where are you going? Really?
Just because of space, that's all. Because I read a book a day. So I read very, very fast. So yeah, I can't carry all my books.
The romantic in me says books, a paperback book. But the more I travel, the lighter I travel, so it has to be Kindle.
Okay.
But only for fiction.
And I love the fact that you finish a book and you can just go, ooh, I need a book. Bing, bing, and you're done. You've got a book.
It is easy. Yeah. There's just something about paperbacks, but yeah.
I agree. But
okay. DSLR camera or iPhone camera? If you could only take one out on a trip, what would you take?
Personally, I would take my iPhone just because it's easy to film as well.
Exactly.
And, I love that. I think Paul will answer differently.
DSLR.
Yeah, with all the camera kit and everything.
Yeah.
To Glastonbury.
That's why I have the Kindle. So the books,
right.
lenses take over from the books.
Fair enough. Right. Last one that I can think of. I guess this could be either travel related or just life in general. Feel free to answer as you please. But what is your guilty pleasure? Something
Red
you want
wine.
to... Sorry?
Red wine.
was looking for something a little bit more embarrassing than that, but if that's that,
Something a little bit more
no,
embarrassing.
no, that's cool. You can answer with whatever you want.
Oh, guilty pleasure. Okay,
I know.
I watch Star Wars cartoons quite a lot.
Yeah, I'm on that. Don't worry, that's fine.
Often when we're traveling, we have this thing where we make up songs based on what's around us, and I will not sing any of them because they are too crazy. But we end up
If ever
with
there was a time, this is it.
No, no way. That will go with me to my grave.
Are there
They are
choreographed
too crazy.
dance moves?
No,
They're even crazier, actually.
I forgot about that. That's true.
We always make up a song based on what we're doing, which is a lot of fun.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty special, but pretty cool.
Special case, mate.
Yeah. And so no, can't. No, right, fair enough. No, I don't know where we go from there. What's next? No, that's probably a good place to wrap it up, really. Thank you very much, obviously, for the last half hour of your time and for chatting through about blogging and global help swap and everything. If you just want to give it one last big plug, shamelessly, that would be great.
Well, if you're looking for, responsible eco travel and low cost or free volunteering with small charities, look at globalhelpswap.com.
Cheers, guys. All the best. I'll speak to you again soon. So that was Paul and Karen from globalhelpswap.com. If you're looking for their social media accounts, you can find them up here in the top right hand corner of their website. Or if you're looking for more travel blogger interviews, hop on over to my YouTube channel, find the TBI playlist, and there you are. We've got all the related videos ready and waiting to be watched. All social media links are again in the descriptions of the YouTube video, and related videos will be on the right hand sidebar. Thanks very much for watching. Cheers. Bye.